Welcome to the DeSoto ISD Eagle Insights Podcast, conversations with the community. With academics, arts, and athletics at the forefront, we are soaring higher for the future of our students, staff, and community. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show.
Welcome to DeSoto in Glen Heights. My name is Tiffany Blackman-Jones. I'm the Chief Communications Officer for DeSoto ISD and your host of Eagle Insights. Eagle Insights is the district's new video podcast series where we'll be discussing all things DeSoto ISD, including the AAA experience from a number of different perspectives. Joining me today in our first episode is Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Usamah Rodgers. So I want to first say welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here at Eagle Insights.
So this is new and we're all trying to just kind of work through it. But one of the things that I'm most excited about is just the work that you've done so far. So you joined us in June 2022 and it has been a whirlwind since. So I want to start with just kind of talking through some of the big work that you've done, and then we'll get to kind of the meat of what we're talking about today.
Okay, awesome. So coming into the seat as superintendent, I spent a lot of time in my entry plan interviewing staff, community members, talking with students, talking with parents, talking with families to really kind of get an understanding of where people were, what were their thoughts about the district. And as you know, we spent a lot of time that first year telling the story of how DeSoto was working to transform from a place of trauma to transformation. And the first year, we really spent a lot of time working to regain and rebuild community trust. The second year that I was here, we really took a deeper dive into our district's financial standing and worked with our trustees to refinance some of our debt to create a space to begin the preparation for bond planning for the district, because facilities improvement was something that was high on the list of things to address.
So bond is huge and it's a big project. I've heard you term it as legacy work. And so let's talk about the bond. How did we get here? What work did we do to even establish that we needed one?
Yes, that's a great question. So the first thing that we did was really assess where we were financially. So the district worked really hard to ensure that we were having clean audits. And this year, our financial audit, we were rated a B. So that was a huge increase from where the district previously stood. Additionally, as I said, we reduced some debt by paying off some bonds early. We've worked hard, and since 2021, the district has lowered its tax rate by 46 cents. And so DeSoto ISD has one of the lowest school district taxes in the metropolitan area. And so looking at all of those things, they created some conditions for us to create space to begin to prepare for the financial ask that we needed. But before getting to a place of financial ask, the district hired a company to do a facilities assessment. We also engaged a demographer to do a demographic study to help us understand where is growth, where is decline in enrollment, and just to give us a general lay of the land in terms of students in the community for us to see what would future growth look like. And so based on the facilities assessment, it confirmed things that we knew from our lived experience, that, we have leaky roofs, that we need technology, that there's some upgrades needed in terms of technology infrastructure, safety and security. And then more importantly, creating educational spaces which will help us to prepare students for jobs for the future, which will be rooted in STEM, and that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Wonderful. And I know we're doing a lot of work to build programming around that. We recently had a grant that was passed. So do you want to drop a little nugget about the grant that the board approved a few weeks ago?
Yes, I'm super excited. So DeSoto ISD is working to implement a full-scale Project Lead the Way, which is a problem-based, project-based science, technology, math, and engineering platform that provides hands-on learning opportunities for students rooted in real-world problem solving. And so through Project Lead the Way, we were able to receive $240,000 in micro grants that were sponsored by an engineering company that will actually be visiting the district in the near future to look at our level of implementation.
So that's wonderful, and it's really exciting because we have these two sides of the house converging between our work on the bond and our work to build academically. So this really is building the future, right? When we look at the bond, what is the total amount that we're asking for in this project?
So the bond is just a little over $199 million, and we were really looking at how do we provide the necessary renovations to the campuses. It also includes in Proposition A, a replacement for one campus, but all campuses will receive renovations with the exception of Katherine Johnson, which is our newest campus, which will have maintenance and deferred maintenance addressed.
Okay, great. So Prop A really is campus focused. It deals with, again, renovating those campuses, replacing one campus. So that will be a lot of focus on student experiences as they come into those spaces. Then there are two other propositions on the ballot as well. Can you talk us through those other two?
Yes, absolutely. So the other two propositions, one is uniquely focused in helping to improve our athletic facilities. So there's lots of wear and tear on our tennis courts, our baseball fields, our softball fields, soccer fields, the multi-purpose center. So all of those things are included in Proposition B. Also, it's an opportunity for the district to be innovative in our approach. So it would include a replacement of our current field house, adding classrooms, and then also a space for really which could generate funds because it could be a multi-purpose, multi-use facility. And so we're really excited about that opportunity as well. And then Proposition C is a standalone proposition which addresses the stadium. And it is to address repairs to the stadium, making sure that it is ADA compliant, and then, addressing our restrooms, concession stands, and helping to just enhance our stadium overall.
Okay. So how did we design those propositions? What was that work and who was involved?
Yes, so it was a very lengthy process, about a year-long process, actually, where we engaged community members, parents, faculty, staff, business owners. And so based upon the facilities assessment, the group then took a look at that to begin to identify what are needs across the district. They went out to visit other school districts and campuses to see what was possible. They also talked about what is career and technical education programming and how could we incorporate that into design of campuses. And then based upon the availability of funding that we had available, look to see what was the most practical approach to ensure that we were addressing many of the deferred maintenance needs with also providing some innovative spaces for campuses. And so with that, it was important to note that the last facilities bond passed in DeSoto ISD was in 2005. And we also looked...
Wow, that's 20 years ago.
Yes.
So we haven't had work on our buildings in more than 20 years.
Well, I'm going to say we haven't had major work or innovative improvements. So some things that happened in the bond that was in 2005, right, was the addition of the academy at the high school. And so you mentioned legacy work. So at that time, that was legacy work, and that was forward thinking to design spaces where students had full functioning career and technical education spaces that provided those real world learning experiences. Those funds were also used to create Katherine Johnson, and we know that that is an award-winning campus here in our district. And so again, this bond package creates an opportunity for us to once again be forward thinking in our approach and create school designs and facilities that will help advance and enhance future learning opportunities for students.
I think that's incredible. And so there's such an opportunity here on the ballot for us in this community to look at impact for future learners. You talked a little bit about the tax impacts. And I know that that's been a question for a lot of our community. What is this going to mean for us should this pass in terms of financial impact and tax rate?
Yeah, so the financial impact is about 16 cents. So when you think about that, it means that the school district taxes are much lower than they were. 5 years ago, we decreased, 46 cents. So that taking back up 16 cents still leaves a lot of room from where school district taxes were previously. Also, I think it's important to note as well that through the last legislative session, the homestead exemption was increased to $100,000. And so therefore, if people have, put in their homestead exemption, their school district taxes are actually lowered by, tax rate on their house by $100,000 as a result of that.
Okay. So I think that kind of places in context a lot of those questions. Some of the other questions that we've seen as we've kind of started discussing the bond with the community are around what is the specific work related to the projects. And I know we're not there yet, but I think it's important just to kind of help people understand. And I think on the one hand, people are excited. They want to know, they want to, have more insight into what they're voting for. But if we could just kind of talk through what is the process for getting to that design implementation phase?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first step is for voters to approve the funds. And once the district receives approval, then the board will engage different firms to engage with community members for design plans, staying within the scope of the budget. Another question that we continue to ask is about oversight. And so the board is also committed to having a bond oversight committee that will give quarterly reports and also maintaining transparency by having all information available on the district website or the bond website so that community members can see and know and understand how their tax dollars are being put to work.
Great. So before we move forward, I want to take a step back on taxes. So you talked a little bit about the homestead, but what about 65 plus voters?
Yes, so for voters who are 65 and older or disabled, if they have their homestead exemption, there should not be any increase to their taxes.
Okay, that's good to know as well. As we kind of get closer to the bond, understanding that early voting starts April 22nd, that election day is May 3rd, where can people find more information about this? I know there's a couple of opportunities in development.
Yeah, absolutely. We will have some virtual meetings so people can learn more about the proposals from the comfort of their home by checking our website for the information for those dates. We'll also have 2 in-person meetings in the Beltline Conference Center in April. And then we're also excited that we'll have school facility tours that will take place as well. And all of that information will be located on the district's bond website.
Right. And it's a special note about the tours is they are limited seating. There are only 35 seats per tour. So as soon as that link goes out, people need to sign up to make sure that you can get a firsthand look at what this bond will cover and address. Yeah. And so as we get ready to close, is there anything else that you want to share or offer about Bond 2025 in DeSoto ISD?
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I'll say too about the limited seating, right? If there is demand for more tours, then we are most happy to accommodate our community because it is our school, our kids, our community, and our future. And so that's really important. It's been a lot of hard work to get to this point, and I'm really excited and proud of the work that the district is doing to really honor our commitment to regain families' trust and to be the choice school district for students and families within our community.
Absolutely. And so DeSoto ISD is doing a lot of work in that area. We're doing a lot of work just to kind of re-engage and connect with our families and communities. And I'm so excited about the response, just to see the way that people are digging in, rolling up their sleeves to make sure the kids have the best opportunities possible is really incredible. And it reminds me why we do what we do here in education. So for our first episode of Eagle Insights, I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Rodgers, for making time to chat with us today. And we'll see you on the next episode. Be sure to subscribe and watch wherever you access your podcasts.
Thank you for watching the DeSoto ISD Eagle Insights podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel in addition to liking and sharing this episode. Also, please visit our website and follow us on social media for more information about DeSoto ISD. And always remember, Eagles, soar higher.